Any cards in hand? Does he have a shapeshifter?
One card in hand. Could draw a shapeshifter, right? I don't know. Oh, there's the extirpate.
Oh.
Middle of the attack phase.
He's going to extirpate the shapeshifters, even if it's in his hand, it doesn't matter.
Right, right.
And it's not.
All right. There will be no Pickles combo. There's no way for Mitamura to get anything back from out of the game, right?
Yeah, Mitamura tried to be helpful there and take him out. And Wafo-Tapa was like, you know what? I want to look at you.
Yeah, I kind of want to look through your deck.
I want to see what your sideboard plan is. Now, did you say that Wafo-Tapa brought in Pull from Eternities?
That's what I heard Rich Agon say.
And tried to figure out what those are getting back, unless he's just using them for extra mystical teachings.
I think he might be.
Right?
Which seems fine.
He just, pulls his mystical teachings.
Sure.
And flashes back another mystical teachings. I can't see anything in the sideboard of Mitamura's deck that he would want that for. Sideboard or deck. That's great. I've been kind of hoping I'd see that happen all week.
Sure, sure. I know, 21. Sure.
Wafo-Tapa's Eon Chronicler has come down. He's got a handful of answers. Cancel. Well, you can see it. He's got the cancel on the draining well. And he leaves the Eon Chronicler back to watch the gates on the Brine Elemental. Get a look at the beautiful panels that they produced. All different shots of Yokohama done in monochrome. Little black lotus in the corner. And they have a little Guillaume Wafo-Tapa superimposed over that. Mitamura is just sending in the Phyrexian totem. No fear. Wafo-Tapa is considering whether he wants to block the Brine Elemental or block the Phyrexian totem. Blocks the Phyrexian totem, he also gets five permanents. Yep, there it goes. He puts it in front of the Phyrexian totem. Guillaume's ready to go to damage. He's gonna cast Mystical Teachings.
Yeah. Mitamura had seen enough.
Yeah. With all the shapeshifters gone.
Pretty much forced to try to win with Phyrexian Negator, but rather than sacrifice all of his permanents for the tendrils that Wafo-Tapa was probably going to get, Mitamura scoops him up, and Guillaume Wafo-Tapa leads 2-0. Wow, this is shaping up to be almost a blowout.
Well, when it comes down to it, though, Mitamura's deck is full of creatures,
Yes?
and Wafo-Tapa's deck is really good at dispatching them,
It's true.
especially if Mitamura trots them out there 2 at a time.
Yeah, I totally agree.
You know, that game might play out completely differently if he just
Baits them one at a time.
baits them 1 at a time with the Shadow Mage Infiltrators.
It's funny, I used to remember busting out the Pro Tour 1 decks. Right, the very first Pro Tour there ever was, there was a series, the top 8 decks were built, and, there were these Armageddon decks, would have, Wrath of Gods and Armageddons and things like that, and then the couple of Necro decks had the Pump Knights in them, and you could really tell who knew how to play the Necro deck and who didn't, because when you got that matchup of the Necro versus the Armageddon decks with all loaded with Wrath of Gods, like, I remember playing against John Finkel, actually. We're sort of, goofing around, play testing, decided to stop testing for the tournament and just bust out the PT1 decks. And, he'd never play more than a Pump Knight. He would just play a Pump Knight, and he'd just spend all of his mana pumping up the Knight and attacking, because it was so important in those decks that it's like, okay, they can kill your creatures. They've got these Plows, they've got these Wraths. You just got to make sure that you force them to kill only 8 creatures with their 8 removal spells.
Yeah,
The
John.
lesson has stuck with me ever since.
Where were you as a player when Pro Tour 1 rolled around? What were you?
Pro Tour 1 rolled around?
Yeah,
I didn't know it existed. Like, I was...
I mean, had you played the game?
Yeah, I'm trying to think in retrospect. I had been playing the game with my college roommate for a semester and had not yet discovered tournaments. I discovered tournaments, like, right around that time. Like, I heard about a Pro Tour 2 PTQ. I noticed a sign at, like, the local card shop, and I'm like, what's this? I didn't go. I didn't know what it was. I was just all confused. What is this Pro Tour thing?
Right.
But then I played qualifiers. I sort of discovered tournaments that semester.
I was probably running that tournament.
in Minneapolis?
Oh, not in Minneapolis.
Yeah, I was in Minnesota
I
at that
thought you were
time.
in CMU.
No, I moved that summer. The first year I played Magic, I was a grad student in Minnesota. I got my master's degree. My wife was a grad student in Pittsburgh, so it's like, this sucks. She wasn't my wife at the time. She was my college girlfriend at the time, so decided, yeah, all right, I need to transfer to Pittsburgh, marry this woman. And then discovered the guys at CMU. First tournament I played was this random 2-headed giant tournament, actually. And I remember I was playing with my wife, Dell, and I met Eric Lauer, who was playing with a guy named Pete from CMU. And, Eric struck me as somebody who really knew how to play. And so I made arrangements to head over to campus and test with him. And I wound up driving to a PTQ, and the rest is history.
Which is in turn paid off very, very well for you.
That worked out. Yeah, Eric Lauer, very much the guy who taught me how to play Magic well. Like,
Sure.
not the guy who taught me how to play Magic, but the guy who taught me how to play Magic well.
Again, we talked about the value of networking earlier. I mean, that's kind of a...
Oh, yeah.
You know.
No, the way to get good at Magic is to find people that are better than you and then try to figure out why they're beating you.
Right. Not call them lucky.
So Guillaume Wafo-Tapa up 2-0. Best 3 out of 5 matchup. He's got a couple losses to give here. Doesn't want to give them away, but
Sure.
just needs to win one of these next 3, and he will be Pro Tour champion, Guillaume Wafo-Tapa. He thought he was influential in the metagame before. Wait until his deck list has PT Winner attached to it.
What do you think is going to happen in the PTQ season? Like, just ignoring Future Sight for a second.
Ignoring Future Sight?
Doesn't it seem to you that it's going to be a ton of white weenie in the PTQs? Like, remember,
There will be more white weenie than there was here at the Pro Tour, which means the good players will run these control decks or will run the red decks and do pretty well.